Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Podcast, Pharma Edition with Vuong Trieu. Vuong has an immense track record. He's currently chairman and CEO at Untitled Therapeutics, brought a bunch of companies public, IPOs, a couple. Where to start? Lipomedics, Autotelic, Oncotelic, Sapu Therapeutics, Stokosil, Ithena Pharma. He was also board of directors at Sorrento Therapeutics, so really accomplished in the therapeutics field, biotech, pharma, and everything in between. Has a PhD that he got a long time ago in microbiology and molecular biology, and nowadays acts as a CEO mostly in the industry. Vuong, I'm glad to have you on the podcast. Welcome. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I have spent most of my lifetime developing drug, focusing really in oncology. Abraxane, the first drug that I work on, became the standard of care for breast cancer, lung cancer, and pancreatic cancers. And then we went on to develop Singulair, which is the next generation of Abraxane, and that's going well. And now we're developing a TGF-beta antisense, and we hope that to advance therapy for immunotherapy against all the solid tumor. And that moving forward into a phase 3 trial in pancreatic cancers. We hope to have first patient in fairly soon. And if the readout is good, we can have the interim read in 1 or 2 years and get approval to put that out to the patient fairly quickly after. Yeah. So at the same time,
Go ahead. Sorry.
At the same time, we're pushing forward with our nanomedicine platform. Abraxane, Singulair, those are our first generation and second generation. We're moving to develop the third generation nanomedicine that doesn't have any of the downside of those platforms. Yeah.
Right. You and I pre-call, we mentioned that you're only as good as your latest company or startup or victory. Nowadays, you've taken companies public, you had humongous exits for billions. My question is, nowadays, do you feel that you have a system in your hands to take a drug from development to market extremely quickly? Do you feel that you've gone more and more efficient nowadays?
Yeah, I think we have gotten more effective. We've been through this a couple of times, so we learn from our mistakes. But also with the recent advancement in AI technology and whatnot, the two are there to really improve on what we can do. Now, one of the major things that happened is in drug development, you have a lot of silo. There's a lot of expertise. We have toxicologists, clinicians, regulatory, and every one of them speak different language, right? But with ChatGPT and the AI technology, you're able to put all the corpus, all the information into one corpus and allow your people to talk to the corpus at their communication level. So that's kind of level the playing field. Everyone now can talk to one another.
Right. How has AI changed the game? Last year wasn't the best year for biotech. There's a bunch of that closed down. Do you feel that AI is still propelling the industry forward? And what's the future? What do you foresee for biotechs?
I think biotech has hit bottom. I think the last couple of years been fairly brutal. And if anything, most biotech companies are upside down. I mean, if you liquidate all the shares, the company has more cash than it's worth on the open market. But I think the trend is changing, and people are starting to see that biotech represent a good investment opportunity.
Right. And AI, what's the role that AI has to play? Is it just to mention that you have AI in your startup, get a bunch of funding, Should people rely on existing LLMs or develop their own? What's your take on it?
I think AI technology allow us to do everything faster and better. It doesn't replace the human, but it main thing is it allows us to communicate better. The large language model really, the benefit of it is you can have document coming in from all different language and you're able to query it in your own language. So that to me a big thing because as running clinical development, we run trial across multiple countries and most and all different languages. And then we have um, scientific publication, mostly in English, but there are publication in different languages. And then there's reports that come in to us for on our drug, and we send our drug out to be tested with our collaborator and our vendor, and they all in different country, and then sometimes it come back in different language too. So the fact that you're able to put all that in and query it and not have to worry about a language problem, it really a big improvement. So I think the technology, what it does right now is really allow you to communicate very well among one another.
How has COVID turned the biotech world upside down?
I think the COVID, we all experience COVID. We all feel that we can contribute to fighting off COVID. And at that time, it was a really good experience because suddenly everyone have one goal to see how we can stop the pandemic. And there's a lot of data came out that are being shared. There's a lot of technology, a lot of tests being done. So suddenly you have a wealth of data on a single topic. And to be able to query that data, it is a big deal because now you suddenly have a rich source of data on one single topic. And if you can query that, it will drive you to create new insight that help you to develop your drug that you haven't thought of before. So that's one. The other one is this isolation where suddenly people have to learn to work together remotely. That really changing the landscape. Before we say we have to meet face to face to work effectively, but now after years in isolation, we have learned to work together remotely.
How do you determine your pipeline?
Well, our pipeline is fairly straightforward. Our focus really look at it how we can leverage on our knowledge of TGF-beta 2 to stop cancers because cancer tend to grow and because it secreted TGF-beta 2, so it masks its presence and it can grow without the body immune system recognizing it. So our pipeline just focusing around that. It is uh, basically unmask the tumor to allow the body to kill off the tumor naturally.
Tell me a bit more about pet to DAO.
Yeah, that's our concept of using the PDAO technology to kind of spread out the control of the company or activity so that we get input from everyone. So as a public company, we have our shareholder to answer to, but a lot of time to get shareholder response, you have to spend a lot of money to, first of all, get a list of your shareholder, get the information request out to your shareholder and mail it out to them, get them to respond back and all that. I mean, that whole process is expensive and slow, but the PDAO allow you to say, okay, well, every shareholder has a PDAO. And all you have to do is go onto the platform, say, we want to do XYZ. people with token can go in and vote on that concept, and there you have it. You have your shareholder response. So it gives you a better interaction with your shareholder and guide your direction, your decision, so that it reflects what the shareholder wants.
What are your priorities nowadays as a CEO?
Priority really to move forward the company forward. We are the focus is the patient to get the drug to the patient. We know that our drug OT-101 have significant clinical efficacy in GBM as well as PDAC in during our phase 2 trial, and now we moving through the phase 3 to prove to the regulatory authority that it's effective to get it approved. And once it's approved, then we get it out to the patient. So our main focus is to move through the clinical trial as quickly we can to get the patient the drug that they needed.
How does the stock price dictate your priorities as a CEO? Does it shift priorities, or do you just look at it when you wake up in the morning and you don't think about it the day after?
The stock price doesn't really dictate what we do. Uh, like I said, biotech as a whole is kind of upside down, is that your market cap is lower than your actual value. And it will turn around. It's just like anything. The stock market go through one extreme to another extreme, and we can't really let that dictate what we do.
Vuong, thank you for the interview today. Where can we find more about you online?
Well, at Sapu, you can go to sapu.com. There's a lot of information about our joint ventures, how we're moving forward. We just recently constructed GMP facility for our nanomedicine platform in San Diego. We're planning to move forward and construct an additional facility to support our capability. And then you can also go to oncotelic.com, and we routinely issue press release that people can see.